by this stage I would expected everyone to have linked their files together. So we click on the About page, takes you to the About, Portfolio, etc. Now what I want to do is demonstrate Dreamweaver's file management capabilities. Well, you may be thinking, why is this important? It's imperative that we deal with our managing files very accurately, simply because websites, as we have seen, are a collection of various files that are linked together. So let's just say, for example, if we go back to our root folder, which is Dreamweaver, which I've labeled mine as 01 Dreamweaver, I've now got an image folder inside my my site folder. If I double click and enter inside, this is my image. So this is where I'll really stick all my images that I want to use for my website. If we go back, if I now delete or somehow remove this image folder outside of the Dreamweaver folder, now remember that my Dreamweaver folder is sitting on my desktop. So if I remove this images folder and I want to use it for another project, I've now broken that link inside my web page. So in other words, if I deleted that image, I will now have a blank table inside here, so the image disappears. And it's really important that we are able to deal and manage our files accordingly. And there's a really cool way and inside Dreamweaver where Dreamweaver deals with our file management for us. So let's have a look at this capability. There's two types of things. I presume that you guys at home will start with a blank web page or your developer web page, which is why I walked you through this process. Sometimes it may come a moment in time where you inherit the job, so some of the web pages are already delivered and made for you. If that's the case, what we can do is you need to go to Site and you need to go to New Site, and if that's not available, I'm just going to shut this down and go to my basic web, go back to my welcome screen. And what you need to do is select here Dreamweaver site. So basically what we're doing is we're going to define a site. When we point to a site folder, we're actually defining a site, which is what is referred to as in technical terms. I'm just going to go cancel, and I'll just open up my Dreamweaver index. And what I'm going to do is do it from here, and we'll go to the same screen, Site, New Site. And here we have two options. We've got the basic function and we've got the advanced function. I'm going to go ahead and select the advanced section. The basic section basically just makes you walk through step by step. So if I fill in these details, I can go to next, and it's basically giving me more information about what's going on for each option. I want everything demonstrated on I'm just going to go back. I want everything demonstrated on one page. So the first thing we need to do is give this a site name. At this stage we do not need to worry, or we're not really concerned with the actual site name itself. It's only for us. In other words, the site name we give here has no bearing on our website itself. So I'll just say my first website. And again, we can use special characters, we can use spacing, we can use anything in here that has no bearing on our actual site name. Now the local root folder is, you've guessed it, we need Dreamweaver to point to this source to our site folder inside our document. So basically what we need to do is click here on this yellow icon. On the Mac it would be signified by a blue icon, and we can click this and we need to browse for our root folder. And one thing important is it's already picking it up here, which is brilliant because I've been working in this folder. But what we need to do is, I'm just going to go up one level and we can click here, Dreamweaver, and select Open. That would, on a Mac, that's how it would work. It would basically, we browse through it, we select this, and it will say choose, and we've chosen the folder. On the Windows platform it's slightly different because of a different operating system. What we need to do is browse for the folder, select Open, and we open the folder. Once we're inside the folder, we then select, click Select. So we've now chosen that, and this is now my site folder, like so. The default images folder, what this means is sometimes inside Dreamweaver or building a page, you may import a picture from My Pictures library, or sitting on your desktop, or in another source other than the image folder you've specified in your site folder. and what happens is Dreamweaver makes a copy of that image and places that in the default images folder, which is really important. In older versions, this is new to this version of Dreamweaver. In the older version, if you actually did that, you'll have an error, or it will come up with your image not being displayed properly. That's really cool. We'll come back to this as well. Links relative to, we'll come back to this as well. If you've got a HTTP address for your web page, you can stick that in there as well. And we've got case sensitive links. What this basically does is, if you switch this, it checks the linking. So in other words, if I create a link with higher case or all block capitals, it will create problems for us, but Dreamweaver will highlight that problem. But I already drilled into you guys that always use lowercase and underscore when dealing with spaces, or better still, don't use spaces. Again, you should always use lowercase. I've said that in previous tutorials as well. Enable caching is pretty straightforward. It gives you a good definition over here. Once we've done that, we can go ahead and click OK. I'll come back to these parameters in a later stage in my tutorials, but I'll go ahead and click OK. And hey presto, here we've got our folders here. Everything's placed inside here. Now the nice thing is that I've got my first web page, my first website here, and if I was working with other website files, those will be listed here as well. So it'll be my first web page, it could be a client project or whatever, and that will be listed in here as well. That's quite cool, so we can quickly bounce to that. Now what you'll see here is your first web page and your images folder and all of your HTML files like so. Now what is actually going on here, if we move and make any of these changes inside our Dreamweaver file management system, that actually makes a change on your desktop. So this is actually real time. We're actually viewing this how you would inside here, inside your desktop, and if we make any changes, we'll see those changes reiterated through Dreamweaver. So in other words, we should really natively work through Dreamweaver using this management file system here. It's a much better way of working and keeping a track on your files inside Dreamweaver. So if we make changes, if I take the newsletter image out of there and place it here just to show you, like so, and you'll see the link is being, I can click update and that will now update that. So if I go to my about page, if we can bring it up, just double click that, just give it a second, and there we go. Although that I've broken the link that it was originally linked to, and I've just clicked update, bang, Dreamweaver automatically updates the site. For web developers, this is massive. I mean, we spend a lot of time going in, changing and changing specifically the points of origin of each image. So this is kind of like a godsend, if you like, for web developers. And you'll see as you progress your knowledge inside Dreamweaver how you use this function a lot. So it basically automatically updates your site. If we go back here and we look at my desktop folder, my site folder sitting on my desktop, you'll see that it's updated itself there as well. So this is really a cool way of managing files inside Dreamweaver, and I strongly recommend we set up and define your site before you begin a project, or you specify on the desktop, just like I walked you through in this tutorial. And there we have it. This kind of concludes our time in these video tutorials. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll be making some more to take you through a lot more interesting things inside Dreamweaver.